Okay, good morning from here. We are now ready to conduct the intraday live market analysis, where we are going to be looking into a few pairs and also trying to establish possible reactions of their various levels of support and resistance. But before then, let's look into the Forex factory economical calendar to see those high impact news announcements that are scheduled for today. All right, the first one here, the only high impact news announcement that we have for today is coming from the Canadian dollar axis. I am sure it is once this news item is being released that we can now begin to see the last price action for the week. Okay, so excuse me, between now and the news release hour, we are likely going to see some sideways movement. But once the news is released, then we can see the last action for the week. All right, let's look into a few pairs. The first one is the euro against the American dollar, and this is the 1 hour time frame. Still a non-directional buyers. Price is still moving sideways, but it seems we are now having what looks like a flat top triangle. Let's just keep this level here. Okay, the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so let price break out of this compression. We want price to break out of this compression. For me, this week we may not see any for today we may not see any significant move. We may even have price come down here, then move back up again. Nothing serious may happen for the euro against the American dollar for today. All right. All right, let's look into the sterling pounds against the Canadian dollar. The sterling pounds has been generally strong. It is likely going to rally until the end of this month. So it might just be sideways at the top. Then maybe from next month we can begin to see some pullback. Okay, in the sterling pounds against the Canadian dollar, I am expecting that in the monthly time frame we are going to have price push up to that area there, where price, in fact, it is very close around that zone. From there on, we can begin to see some pushes to the downside. At the very worst, the price can push up to the breakout area right there. Okay, up to the breakout area before we can see the fall to the downside. All right, this is actually this is actually a pullback. That's the trend in there. This is the pullback, so we're expecting to see price come back down. For all those who took trades just around that area, well, that was a critical mistake. We took the trade just around where price was about to make the pullback. All right, this is the trending type of price action. So the pullback to that broken area somewhere in there is where price is likely going to have that. Then from there on, we can see another swing again to the downside. So at any rate, the directional bias is still to the downside. The previous swing high has not been taken. We are having lower swing highs and lower swing lows. So the momentum is still to the downside. Let's look into the Forex time frame. In the Forex time frame, we are having a rising trend line here. You can see that line right there. If you are there's always a channel. All right, there's always a channel. If you just project that, okay, I'm going to remove this one. There's always a channel. You can see how this level here has been acting as support. All right, right here has been acting as resistance, even though we got a fake breakout. That was a fake breakout. Since then, price has been hovering in the middle of the channel. That is likely going to continue even until somewhere in here. Then maybe we can see another push to the downside. The fact is that the overall price behavior here is also likely going to end bearish. Usually you see very little candles pushing to the upside, then one candle can cover the distance for all of these tiny candles that are pushing to the upside. Okay, so let's just keep watching and waiting, but you really do not want to hit on your buy button around that area. Okay, you don't want to hit your buy button around this area. Also, you really do not want to go long at this critical level that price is currently. Price is around an overbought area, okay, so to speak. You have to be very careful hitting on your buy button. The sterling pounds against the Australian dollar is also the same price behavior in the weekly time frame. We anticipated that price was in some form of a channel, but that channel right now is being violated. Okay, it's been violated. That was the anticipated channel. Right now price is trading right outside. Well, that is also likely going to be a fake breakout. If you look into the daily time frame of the sterling pounds against Australian dollar, we also have a channel formation. We got tricked, right? Price got us tricked here and caught us right there. This is the upper boundary of that channel, and prices are very close to that area of resistance. If it reacts, the next move will be to the downside. In the downside, this is the level of support. This is a clear channel, all right, and eventually we are likely going to see price come back down in this type of channel. If you look into the okay, nothing much to talk about there. All right, so our focal point is in the daily channel, where price is already trading very close to resistance. Okay, so you really do not want to go long around that area. All right, so like I said, very little candles pushing to the upside. Whenever it wants to collapse, you see one long candle, all right, a very long one, covering the distance of all of these little candle, engulfing them totally. All right, the next one is the American dollar against the Canadian dollar. In the weekly time frame, we have over analyzed this pair already. This is a problematic zone, and price has remained there for 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 about 8 weeks in a row. Price has remained sideways around that area. If you look into the let's see, the daily time frame, I analyzed this pair before, and I talked about price turning from that area to the downside. That seems to be happening, and the best directional bias for today that you want to take is a short to the downside. You want to hit on your sell button, looking for short entries to the downside in the American dollar against the Canadian dollar. In the 4 hours time frame, a weak trend line was broken. That's the breakout, maybe the pullback, and from there on we could see the continuation pattern. At best, for the American dollar against the Canadian dollar for today, you want to stay bearish. Price should be pushing to the downside. All right, the American dollar against the Swiss franc, we have also over analyzed this pair. Well, let me just hint you what happened here. This is a critical area of resistance, and I expect that price is going to come to push to the downside in the very long term. But they are tricking traders. All right, a lot of traders took their short entry based on that pin bar, and then they pushed it up, taking out all of those possible stop losses that were placed there. For next week, I'm expecting price to push to the downside in heavy momentum. That is my expectation for next week. I am very confident about that, and current level of the American dollar against the Swiss franc, the best entry you want to make is to keep looking for only short opportunities. You really do not want to go long. Price is trading around a problematic level of resistance. All right, in the 1 hour time frame, you can also see that channel formation. Yesterday we got a crash to the downside where price needs to break below that channel, and I am hopeful that that is going to happen today. All right, if we get the breakout today, then from next week we are going to keep seeing some pushes, some more pushes to the downside. So the best directional bias here is to the downside for today. All right, the sterling pounds against the Swiss franc. Well, this has also continued to remain bullish. The sterling pounds has continued to gain strength, but you want to be very careful trading around this zone. All right, that is resistance zone in the long term. You can see that was the first bounce. Then we got some fake breakout around that area. Price is still trading around that zone. That is resistance. You want to be careful hitting on your buy button against that level. But for me, I have zeroed my mind that until the end of this month, we may see the sterling pounds keep rallying, but you want to be very careful at their current levels because they are facing resistance. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching this video. This 11-minute video. We'll talk again. Besides, if you have questions or contributions, feel free send them across, and I'll be very happy to respond to them. Do have a profitable trading day and a fantastic weekend ahead. Bye bye.